Հայ-ուսանողական միությունը ASA-ը կազմակերպել էր քննարկում նվիրված Հայաստանում մարդկային իրավունքների պաշտպանությանը։ Այս ձեռնարկի արժեքը նրանում է, որ մեր ուսանողները, հայ երիտասարդները անտարբեր չեն և սրտացավ են հայրենիքում տեղի ունեցած բոլոր խնդիրների հանդեպ։
Recently, the New York Armenian Students Association and the Fordham Armenian Society partnered to co-organize a discussion on human rights and environmental issues in Armenia. The event included presentations by Karen Hagopian of HUIS, Hope, a non-governmental organization, and Arsen Kharatian of the Voice of America's Armenian Service. The opening remarks were read by Tamar Kasparian, Communications Officer at the Fund for Armenian Relief. In his presentation, Karen Hagopian touched on a variety of issues facing Armenia as a country and as a society, including the national army, the environment, and other human rights. He presented the audience with examples of violations of human rights in Armenia, including the events in connection with the arrest and imprisonment of Narek Harutyunyan, founder of Naragazi Art Institute in Yerevan. The next speaker was Arsen Kharatian, who spoke about the current state of Armenian media and the government's attempt to censor independent media outlets. He presented specific examples of TV and radio programs being defunded and pushed out of broadcasting. The evening was concluded by a Q&A with the audience, which included many younger members of the Armenian community. The topics raised at the event created mixed reaction from the audience, but regardless of the differences of opinions, one thing remains important, that the youth of the Armenian diaspora is actively involved in adding their voice to the national dialogue and seeking ways to improve the lives of Armenian citizens and the Republic of Armenia as a whole.
Why do you think this is the right time to speak about this, as opposed to helping Armenian government to achieve its economical and political goals?
Well, first I want to start that I think it's not right time, we are a bit late. I wish we would have started it earlier, and we have started it earlier, but it's finally getting also to diaspora and to larger audience out of Armenia, because it's very important for any kind of economic development that a citizen, who is the main subject of economy, feels free, feels independent enough and with willingness to live in that economy and develop it. What we are having right now in Armenia is that because of corruption and because of injustice and because of all these facts that you just mentioned, people are living, and we, instead of increasing of population of the country after 20 years of independence, we are having decrease of population. And as my question would be this, do we want to have a country where there is a spot on the map called Armenia with no Armenians in it? No. So what shall we do? For that, we should think about health, which is about mining, is how, maybe we make a couple of more millions right now to solve an economic problem, but we are going to have generations sick and dying and leaving the country because of mining industry. So I think these are really issues that will help Armenia to better develop and become finally countries that can be an example in the region of good aspects of it.
During the discussion, we spoke about perhaps somewhat lack of interest of diaspora or a taboo of speaking about this subject. As we both know, the main focus of diaspora, at least to this point, has been the economical development. Why do you think, for people here, let's say in the United States, or particularly in Eastern United States, who are so focused on building roads and building bridges and building schools, why do you think an issue such as preserving forest in Armenia is important?
Well, diaspora is involved in preserving forests in Armenia too. Armenia Tree Project, Armenia Forest Project, these are projects that really show that diaspora is involved in it. And of course, developing roads, bridges, and schools is very important too. The thing is that we should not miss one factor there, a human being. Who is going to use these roads, these schools, and together with building schools. We are having a lot of schools being closing in the villages because of no students, no people in the village. There should be more direct communication with civil society and grassroots, and try to involve those people early enough before the project is developed and funded. And I think before really spending any money into putting any money into Armenian economy.
Given the current political climate, current political situation, how do you see the future of Armenian activism? Are you optimistic?
And it is getting to that point that at least you cannot just be a successful actor or successful TV person or whatever without having your opinion about, for example, public park being commercialized. And right now, really, you see faces coming to the Mashtots Park in Yerevan that usually you would not see speaking about any kind of anti-governmental thing, you know, having a position that is more with civil society than with government. So it is a bit changing, and that is maybe an optimistic part of it.
And my final question, you as an individual, where do you see Armenia in, let's say, 20 years from now?
Well, as an analyst, I cannot just be nice on your camera saying optimistic things. As an analyst, we should realize that that region is the most militarized region right now in the planet. And there is a war danger always there with our neighboring Iran, right now discussed. And there is always a risk of war between Armenia and Azerbaijan. And these two facts are not giving that much of optimism or more ever modeling where we will be 20 years from now. So that's why it's very important to have a country that at least we can predict what will happen internally, where will be our government, politics, society, education, women's rights, army. At least if we can build those things, then I see a future after 20 years. And if we didn't, it's really difficult to answer.
Thank you so much.
Thank you too.